Jay, that's strangely close to Daniel Jones from the Giants. Daniel, is that you? Beat the Chiefs. Show me. If the Broncos and Russell Wilson can show me that they can beat the Chiefs, then I will start believing.
And the crowd up. And so on, this defense in Kansas City won't snap the ball again. The Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dave Montgomery on the Lions, former Bear, gonna make this his revenge game for sure. David Montgomery gets the touchdown that ices the game. No! And there's a flag. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. Snap. Hold. Kick.
Denver wins! Denver wins! Let's go!
They open. No!
What happened? Oh, shit.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Only Football Today. We're going to be doing our Week 7 predictions. Kyle and I are going to be going through each single game, starting with Thursday Night Football all the way to our doubleheader Monday Night Football and giving you our picks for each game. Then it's Week 7. We're going to be talking about contenders or pretenders. Which teams do we think have no chance at making the playoffs? Then we're going to move in to our top five for Week 7. And of course, we're going to end it off with the Chives with Kyle. Oh, let's get it. America is football. Football is America.
Football is America. And if you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass.
For the moment in time. I don't give a damn.
Oh my God. No.
You loved it.
30 to 27.
Oh!
Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30 to 20.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Oh my God, a beer?
First thing in the morning, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the only football now.
There you go.
Oh, we are. But we got a good Week 7. I can't believe it's Week 7. I'm like,
I know.
all right, can we slow this down a little bit? I don't like how fast this is going by. Does it feel like it's going by really fast for you?
Yes and no. But it's already like we're down to 12 weeks of football technically, and I'm like, I feel like it's already like December. We're nearing the end in a way, right?
Perception is weird, right?
It is.
Well, we got a game coming up that's really interesting. We got Thursday Night Football tonight. The Steelers at the Bengals. The Bengals, of course, made a move to get Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback after Jake Browning forgot how to play football. I mean, this guy was like one of the best backups in the league.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this guy stinks.
This guy stinks.
Not sure what happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Bengals' problems go way far beyond Jake Browning. And, you could point to the Joe Burrow thing, but remember, Joe Burrow, Week 1, got a win in a game, which he had the fewest amount of pass yards in his life.
Yep.
Then Week 2, before the injury, he couldn't score either. So, I think it was Week 2 or 3 he got injured, but the offense had been, inept the whole time. So, it was strange because they played no starters for all of Joe Burrow's career, and this year they were like, we need to start fast. We're playing starters, and it's like they had the worst start ever. So look,
Yep.
I'm taking the Steelers in this game. The Bengals have had issues that Joe Flacco unfortunately cannot fix. I do credit the front office for making the move. You have to give your fans something, right? You can't just have them showing up every week and you're putting the same product on the field. You have to at least pivot, even if it's Joe Flacco. Just give the fans something to hang their hat on. Like, all right, maybe Joe Flacco can get Jamar Chase and T. Higgins going. Maybe somebody can unlock what we used to have. But against the Steelers, I don't see it happening. The Steelers lead the NFL in takeaways. Aaron Rodgers is playing good enough to win most of his games. He looked good last week. Remember, whether it's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, when a new old veteran goes to a brand new team, it's not until right about now that things really start to click. So I actually am predicting Aaron Rodgers in the offense for the Steelers overall to get better, which is bad news for the Bengals, who I would have taken, even if that wasn't the case, I would have taken the Steelers. But they're going to get better, and this might be their best win of the year.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I'm gonna go Steelers here too. I mean, they're obviously the more complete team right now, at least. I know maybe the offense isn't exactly what they want right now. I mean, they are 14th in points per game, which not terrible. I mean, you're still top half of the league in that, right? But the Bengals, yeah, their worries. It's just it is a team affair in terms of like how bad the Bengals are. Yeah, you lose Joe Burrow and it sucks, but the defense was never going to be, dominant in any sense or even like win you games. It's usually always on the arm of Burrow that the Bengals have been able to win, at least, in the last couple of years or so. So yeah, I'm taking the Steelers here too on Thursday Night Football. I mean, they're going to be in Cincinnati. And again, you've got to applaud the fact that this team, the Bengals, did go for Joe Flacco, at least, because they weren't going to go for anybody else. They weren't going to go for anybody necessarily younger. They were just trying to go for somebody that's going to give them a better chance. And at the end, it was either Flacco, but I think maybe Jameis Winston may have been the better move here too. At least, with Jameis Winston, it's fun. You never know if you're going to get a touchdown or interception. You might get a 30 for 30. But it would have been fun if they would have gone for Jameis Winston, but they went for Joe Flacco. He's exactly 500 against the Steelers, 11-11. So the record there doesn't really do much for the Bengals in this case. We'll see if he can go above 500 or if he's going to go below 500. I'm betting on below 500 for the Bengals and Joe Flacco. Give me the Steelers to win. I'm going to go 26-14.
All right, 26-14. So still a division game. Remember, the Bengals are ranked 31st in passing yards allowed. So Steelers with a good opportunity to exploit that. And the Bengals haven't lost by fewer than 9 points since Joe Burrow went on IR. They have lost every game by double digits or 9 or more, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm taking the Steelers -5.5 in this game. Next up, we got the Jaguars taking on the Rams. This game is a home game for the Jags, which I think really doesn't mean anything when you're in London. Like, what does that even mean? Because NFL's already come out and painted each team in the end zone. If it's a home game for me, why do the Rams get a logo in the end zone? I'm sorry, that's not okay. If you're going to count it against me as a home game, then we're going to have to just not do that and say it's a neutral game and none of this actually counts. But it would be hard to, keep track of who gets 8 home games next week with the 17-game schedule. But whatever. The Jaguars, they're probably the more familiar team with London. The Rams flying in on Saturday morning seems like a disadvantage, though Sean McVay's obviously thought it through. I don't know if the Rams are going to be at full strength. You got Puka Nakua's ankle injury. If he doesn't play, I think that could I just don't know if the Rams are going to be able to overcome a little bit of rest coming in last second without Puka Nacua. But on the flip side, we've seen teams go to London a week early and they're out sightseeing. They're out like taking pictures, having dinner, and I get it, but like if it's truly a business trip, I like the mentality like we're just gonna fly in, get the dub, and get the hell out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The Rams' primary advantage is their defense. They're third in the NFL, only allowing 18.3 points per game, and they're going to face a Jags offense ranked 17th overall on the other side. Rick, how do you see this?
This is a tough one, dude, because Puka was limited. I believe it was yesterday in terms of injury report. And actually, let me pull that up real quick. He did not participate in Wednesday's practice, and then Blake Corum, their running back, also missed practice. Whereas the Jags, Devin Lloyd is the only non-participant. So really light injury report. But dude, I don't know, man. Like both of these teams have won and lost games that you're kind of like, how, why, what happened? Because neither of these teams, and this kind of goes to what we were talking about yesterday morning on NFL Breakfast Club, where there's a lot of parity in the NFL where teams are losing games where they should be winning, and they're winning games that they should be losing. So with both of these teams, it's just a little bit difficult to tell. Like the Rams tied for the lead in their division, the Jaguars second, I believe, to the Colts right now. And I just, neither of these teams really looked impressive last week. But it's a London game. I got to go with the Rams. If I'm being honest, they are favored at -3, at least from what I'm seeing on CBS. The Rams, even without Puka, I think are the better team offensively and defensively. Now, obviously we saw what Trevor Lawrence and this Jags team did to the Chiefs team a couple weeks ago on the national spotlight. Trevor Lawrence falls down, tries to get up, falls down again, and then gets up and scores and beats the Chiefs. And that's a big win, seeing where the Chiefs are now, right? Like they're still 3-3, but they look like a contender. I don't know, man. The Jaguars defense has to play really, really well, and their offense especially has to play a lot better than they did last week against the who was it? The Seahawks, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, against the Seahawks. And the Seahawks, give them credit, they got really good defense, but they're gonna have to play a lot better offensively against, in my opinion, a much better defense in the Rams. So if they can do that, if they can, maybe get a couple of deep passes to what's his name, Brian Thomas Jr., try to get ETN involved a little bit more and get him in the end zone, like they're going to have a better chance. But the way this Rams defense is, I don't really give them that much of a chance. So I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. They're going to take it. I think they cover. I think it's going to be like, I don't know, 27-24, 27-21, something like that.
All right. Next up, we got the Raiders and Chiefs. This is an AFC West division rival for both teams. And I think with the Chiefs, there's a lot of good juju, no pun intended, going on right now.
I hate you.
You love it. I look, the whole thing with the Chiefs right now is we don't really know what they are. Like some people are already throwing them back in their top 5. Mm-hmm. They're like, look, that's 2 weeks of good football. They ended up losing one of those games. They're 1-1 in their last 2 games. And like in a lot of ways, the Lions beat themselves, like the penalty on the touchdown. So I'm just not like ready to be like, yeah, the Chiefs are a juggernaut again. Their offense has looked better than I've seen in the last couple of years. If they can repeat that again, and like the Raiders are a team that they should be able to do that against. Now the Raiders are coming off a win against the Titans. They have a tough road game this week though. And I think when you think of Arrowhead as one of the tougher places to play, this is one of those games that you could easily see this getting out of hand. Yeah. Weirdly enough, the Raiders defense is 11th overall, which I just find that a little shocking. Yeah. Their offense, though, is only getting 17.2 points per game. So KC's offense averages 25.8 points per game at the current moment, and their defense is a top 15 unit. So the Raiders are going to need a massive effort to avoid getting blown out in this one, in my opinion. This is not a game that I think the spread on this one is 12.5 points. And I think that's right about where it should be. That is probably right where I wouldn't want to bet on it, but I would, if you made me, I would take the Raiders plus 12.5.
Yeah, I might
see
even
this being like a. I could see it being a 13-point win also, like very easily.
I was gonna say I take the Chiefs spread on this on this one, to be honest. What I'm saying is 11.5 on CBS, but obviously it always moves, it changes depending on the site, whatever. I think the Chiefs are gonna like whoop them, dude. I really believe they're gonna whoop them. Nothing. no part of the Raiders outside of Genty and Brock Bowers has looked good offensively. Defensively, I mean, okay, Max Crosby, but like that's 3 names on a team that has 3 phases, a total of 33 players, and you're like 3 names. Those 3 guys, rock solid. Geno Smith has not looked like the Geno Smith that we saw in Seattle. And you know, a lot of people in the Raiders community obviously were like, okay, sick, we're getting Geno. Got Geno 3 years ago. We're talking about something, right? Right now, it's clearly not anything to really get excited over. And everyone else on their roster, again, outside of Genty and Bowers, just does not inspire any confidence in this football team winning games. Geno throws like at least 1 pick per game, and that pick always comes back to haunt them somehow against the Bears. You know, the Bears, I feel like, are the only ones that got takeaways from him and didn't really make him hurt. But that's what the Raiders are really good at. And the Chiefs, we saw them last week, they were taking the ball away, and their defense is still pretty damn good. And I think that's what's going to, I think the defense more so than the offense is what's going to make this game like an ass kicking. If I'm being honest, I think Chris Jones, McDuffie, Karlaftis, all these guys on the Chiefs defense are going to maul the Raiders and Geno Smith and pressure him into throwing picks and stuff too. So, and I mean, that's just going to help Patrick Mahomes. Rashee Rice, by the way, is back in this game for the Kansas City Chiefs. You throw him next to Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce and Pacheco, the way he's been running recently. I think this is just a recipe for disaster if you're a Raiders fan. I really do think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to cover the spread. This is probably going to be like a 27-10 game at the end of it. So I got the Chiefs winning at home against a division opponent in the Raiders. But look for Max Crosby to bother Mahomes, as he has been ever since he's been in the league. Every single game, it seems like Mahomes just gets bothered by Max Crosby. So look out for that.
All right. We got another great game between the Panthers over the Jets. Okay, hold on. Now,
don't lie to the people.
No, before everybody laughs at me, 2 things. Number 1, I think the Jets are a lot better than people think. That's
God.
And I can prove it easily. Okay, the Jets are 0-6, correct? Right?
Yep.
Okay, so they're not better than the Broncos, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or who's the other team? The Broncos, Bucks, and there's one more. Pittsburgh. Okay. Those are 3 teams that we know are better. But we think those are potentially like top 10 teams right now. The Broncos, if not 10, like 11. And then you got those 3 teams who, by the way, the Jets have had to play all of them. And people are giving Denver a lot of crap. Like, you only beat the Jets by 2 points. It's like, where was this energy when the Steelers only beat the Jets by 2 points? Where was this energy when the Bucks only beat the Jets by 2 points? This is a common theme with the Jets. And by the way, in all 3 of those games, or the other 2, the Jets scored 20 or more points. Denver didn't even give up more than 10 or 9 points. Yeah. So I look at this last game and I'm like, that's a little unfair. Like, the Jets have been doing this to other contenders. It's not just Denver, but because it's on London and it's an isolated game, there's more attention on it. But the Jets have been playing better every single week. In one of these weeks, they're going to win. They're not a team they're not your like Detroit Lions when they went 0-16. They're not even as bad as the Bengals, in my opinion. I think the Jets are better than people think, but I think the Panthers are also better than people think. So I actually do like this game. The Panthers are on a winning streak. We saw Dowdle go off last week.
Yeah.
He's gone off the last 2 weeks, but Chuba Hubbard is expected to return. So if you have him on your fantasy team, this is a sell high point. I would try to sell him for something because he's not going to be doing what he did anymore. And on top of that, this is a really competitive defense. It is a winless team, but the Jets have a very competitive defense that's going to keep your running backs in check for the Carolina Panthers. My favorite bet of the week is actually in this game, and it's going to be it's going to be T-Mac.
Okay.
The Panthers 3-3 registered their second straight win on Sunday, taking care of the Cowboys. That was a big win, by the way. That was a big win. That was I will say a season-defining win. Like if they lose that game, it's like, oh, it's the same old Panthers.
Yeah.
But they scored 30 against the Cowboys to win. I know their defense, but still, the Panthers did that. They will go for a third straight victory this weekend when they head to New York. And this is why I love this bet. This is the third consecutive week that I've played T-Mac to go over on his yards. He only logged 29 yards against the Cowboys last weekend, but had previously gone for 62 plus receiving yards in 4 of his previous 5 games. The rookie receiver's been an integral part of the Panthers lineup, getting 8 targets per game. That's 17th. He's 28th in receptions, and he's 16th in receiving yards this season. And the matchup is what we love for McMillan. He's going to take on a Jets defense that's one of the worst in the league. New York is actually allowing only 200 passing yards per game, 10th, but Pro Football Focus has them graded as the 28th best coverage unit. They're also 28th in tackling, with Carolina's offense trending upward. I think the Bryce Young T-Mac duo sheds this New York defense that's on the heels of a London trip. And you always got to keep in mind, coming back from London, a little bit of hangover that could come with it. But I like the T-Mac. He has an off week one time last week, and now the numbers come down super low. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Right now it's at 54 receiving yards for T-Mac. Take the over on that. Even take 70 receiving yards at plus 175 or 90 at plus 400. I think the 70 is the safest bet there, but the safest is just the over on the 54. But if you want to get a little more for your buck, go ahead and take the 70. But overall, the Panthers, I don't know. This is a don't touch it for me, and I'm going to need you to sell me on this game because I'm going to take the Panthers. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to feel good about it too, because I have a bet in that they need to win more than 7.5 games this year, as do the Jaguars and the Patriots, and I win $300. I thought those 3 teams were going to be better this year. So these are the kind of games I need the Panthers to win. So I'm just going to go with that. But overall, I think this is going to be a close game, but it's also one where if the Panthers were up, 27-3, you wouldn't be like, how did that happen? It's just a really weird game, but the Jets are capable of getting a win at home, and Justin Fields playing a good game. I mean, I don't know. Help me out.
I don't believe that one bit. And if you want me to sway you and anybody watching and listening, -10 net passing yards against the Broncos in London. What does that mean? That means Justin Fields had 45 yards passing, and the Broncos sacked him for 55 yards of loss. That's what net passing yards means, dude. I'm sorry, but Aaron Glenn doubling down on Justin Fields still being the quarterback of this team. I understand that they lost to the Broncos by 2 points. They lost to the Bucs by 2 points. That week 1 game against the Steelers, they lost in an exciting fashion almost. Like that week 1 going into week 2, you're like, that's a good loss, Jets. That means you guys are back. That has not happened at all. Yeah, sure. Again, you can point to those games and be like, the Jets are a better team. I don't think so, man. I really do think they're in a tailspin right now. I really do think so, because ever since that loss against Pittsburgh, it just is not like nothing has really looked that good. Have they been in games? Sure, but nothing has really looked good under Aaron Glenn. And if this continues this season, and if it continues next season, Aaron Glenn might be the Brian Callahan of next year. He might be the guy who gets fired a season and a half into his career, whatever it is for Brian Callahan. I think it was like 2.5 seasons, whatever. But I can't see the Jets even at home winning this game. And then the other part of me is like, well, what kind of season has it been, Rick? Oh yeah, it's been a season of surprising winning and surprising losses. And the Panthers are definitely one of those teams that fall into the how did you lose that game and how did you win that game? Specifically, last week, like you mentioned, against Dallas. That game right there for them was one of those games where you're just like, okay, I think we can do something with this. I just really do not believe that the Jets are going to be that much of a pain in the ass for the Panthers. But again, I could be wrong. But right now, as you see me on this screen of sound, body, and mind, I am going to go with the Panthers to win this game. And I think go on a streak finally, winning streak finally, and take the dub from the Jets. The Jets are 29th, 28th in points per game allowed on their defense. We see what their offense has been. It has just not been good at all. I mean, last week, 11 points, 22 against Dallas, 21 against Miami. It's just there's nothing good in the Jets, and I feel bad for Jets fans because they are just in a constant state of disappointment. And as a Bears fan, I've known that, but I don't think I've known that as much as Jets fans, at least of recent memory. So I'm going to go with the Panthers winning this one. I don't really see a big score happening. I'm thinking maybe 24 to 15, something like that. I think they can win
like a weird, wonky one.
Yeah. I think they can win by more than a score, but that more than a score is going to be like 9 to 10 points, something like that. But I'm taking the Panthers to win. I just can't see the Jets. Nothing the Jets have done has inspired me to pick them, kind of like the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just put a bow on this whole thing with this. Jets. Jets. Jets! I'm taking the Jets.
Wow.
I sat on it. Oh, look, it's league. Look, is there a better example of that than winning 30-0 and then following that up with like the 42-13 loss the next week? Like, you always one and make it equal to. Sometimes the Jets just win at home in an ugly 20. Give me a weird one. Give me a 25-16. Oh,
so hot.
So gross. Disgusting. I love it. Next up, we got the Dolphins going on the road to take on the Browns. We were talking disgusting. This is diabolical. This is awful. The best unit in this matchup is the Browns defense. They're top 10 in metrics, and they feature a defense that can exploit the Dolphins offense, which is one of the worst in the NFL, their O-line. So Myles Garrett should have a pretty good game. Tua, watch out. Like, it's going to be a tough one. He's already not a big quarterback. I hope he remembers his lessons when he had to learn how to fall, because he's going to be falling a lot with the constant pressure from Myles Garrett. On the other side of the ball, the Browns are a struggling offense, and that's why this game is ugly. I could see this game being I'm going to go like 12-7. Like, just really, really bad game overall. But this game's in Cleveland, and I'm going to ride the Browns in this game. The Dolphins just don't have it. They don't have it. I mean, even when they win, you're disappointed. I mean, they played a Chargers team who had lost to the Giants, and then they lost to the who did they lose to? The
Browns?
The Giants, right? Yeah, the Giants beat the Chargers. And then
No. Or the Giants beat
the Chargers.
Correct.
And then
the Giants beat the Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Giants first, then it was the Colts, and then the Dolphins were the team that the Chargers were able to bounce back against, despite not having Rashawn Slater, despite not having Joe Alt, despite not having Omarion Hampton. I mean, Vital, who if you guys are following, if you're a member, become a member, because if you were a member, then you saw last week when the entire world said, I don't know, is it Hassan Haskins or is it Kamini Vital? Who's going to be the guy? Nobody knows. They all both running backs played one series. I said it was going to be Vital, and what did he do? He had 126 yards. He had like 50 yards receiving, a touchdown. So the fact that the Dolphins just give up yards like that to a guy that wasn't even on the active roster is embarrassing. So I'm just going to go with the team that I think is going to be able to run the ball and play better defense. Give me the Browns in the ugliest game of the week.
This one is disgusting. I don't even know what to do with this one. I'm going to be honest. Kyle, have the Broncos scored more than 20 points this season?
Yes.
The Bears have scored more than 20 points this season. I feel like the Browns are the only one who have not scored more than 20 points this season. I don't know how you do that. It goes to what you're saying. Like, their offense is so bad. They got rid of Flacco. They bring in Dylan Gabriel, and they expect it to be a little bit better. And they don't have a lot of really good players on there. So I don't understand why. But how do you not score more than 20 points through 6 weeks? How? That's crazy to me. At least the Dolphins on one side have done it multiple times. And credit to the Dolphins. They have been in their games that they've played outside of week 1, 33-27 loss to the Patriots, 31-21 loss to Buffalo. That's a 10-point loss. So I guess not that bad. Not that great. 27-21 win versus the Jets, 27-24 Panthers, 29-27 Chargers. The Chargers needed that win last week against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins just recently are in one of the, like, we called it at the very beginning of preseason, I want to say, if not middle of preseason, the Dolphins are a bad vibe team. And you've been talking about how the Dolphins, it just seems like the distraction of Miami has really taken a toll on a lot of players there and just does not set their head straight and focus on football. And I feel like we're seeing that now more so with Mike McDaniel coming in and kind of having that loosey-goosey head coaching style, because from what Tua is saying, from what remind me of your former coach, the defensive guy, Fangio has said, like,
hey, that's your former
defensive coordinator. Yeah, the Bears. The culture there is not one you want to be a part of. But the Browns suck. They suck. Like, Dylan Gabriel is trying his best, and it's just they can't produce a very good team right now. And yet, with all that being said, I'm taking Dylan Gabriel, Jerry Jeudy, Myles Garrett well over the Dolphins right now. The Dolphins may win this game, but I would still rather bet money on the Browns to win this, because while the vibes are super low in Miami, the vibes are just slightly a little bit higher with the Browns. And I'm talking about, like, vibes are 32 for Miami and vibes are like 29-30, for the Browns.
Yeah.
But I like the defense for the Browns better. The offense for the Dolphins, they can score some points, but I think it's really going to be that. Who wins that matchup? Can Myles Garrett get to Tua? Can the secondary get takeaways or prevent their wide receivers, Waddle, Gesicki, Devon Achane? Can they stop them from getting big plays, getting touchdowns? I think so. And then when the Browns offense and the Dolphins defense is on there, it's going to be like, well, let's see who gets lucky, right? I think that's what it is. But give me the Browns at home. I think they get a win against the Dolphins, and this is just going to keep piling on for Tua and the Dolphins. And I love the poll that you put up on Only Football page, where it was like, who's the next head coach to get fired? And it's like Mike McDaniel and 3 other head coaches who aren't even head coaching right now. And it's like, Mike McDaniel is the next guy getting fired. I think this.
It was who's going to replace Brian Callahan's job, and it was Mike McDaniel was one of the options.
Oh, I thought it was like who's getting fired next. Never mind. Okay.
No, it's even. But you're right. It's funny because I'm saying, like, Mike McDaniel's a candidate, and he has.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the only one with an actual job right now. I thought that was hilarious. But this, I think this is the last nail in the coffin for Mike McDaniel. If he loses against the Browns, you've already seen all the stuff that Tua's been getting into. Tyreek Hill earlier this season went out for the season and was just like, peace, see ya, somehow happy about things. This is going to be the final nail in the coffin for Mike McDaniel. If he loses against the Browns, he might not make it to next week, week 8. I think he's the next one fired, because the Titans have already kind of broken the seal on coach firings, and I think Mike McDaniel might be next if he loses to the Browns. So give me the Browns to win, and a farewell to Mike McDaniel.
All right. Goodbye, Mike. Next up, we got the New England Patriots, who are on a roll. I just saw the Week 7 QB rankings. Unfortunately, Bo Nix took a bit of a fall with that Week 16 matchup. There has not been a lot of grace this year, I will say, for year 2 quarterbacks. They're just supposed to know how to play by now. It's like, dude, you've been here for like an entire season. What are you doing? I don't know. It's like, I mean, I'm winning. It's like,
what more do you want?
We expect so much out of our quarterbacks, and it's like they have, a game here and there, and then you just like see them tumble all the way down behind the likes of Geno Smith, and you're like, he's losing though. How is that possible?
Yeah,
is pretty high, and it's funny because like we talk about this, at least I do a lot, where if the Bears at the end of that game, if they miss that field goal or it gets blocked, Caleb goes from 12 to 16. Like, what does Caleb have to do with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like we judge the quarterbacks based on the entire team success, not just solely on the quarterback. But when we're talking about Drake May, he's number 3 on most charts right now. It's like Baker Mayfield, and then I think Matthew Stafford or Patrick Mahomes, maybe Josh Allen, and then Drake May. And Drake May's having an incredible run, and I don't think any of it's fluky. I thought they were a 10-win team because what Drake May showed us last year. And once again, this is something that you would miss if you were only looking at wins and losses and not watching the game, because you consistently saw Drake May making elite throws in high effort losses because it wasn't resulting in wins. People were, New England was able to fly under the radar for a lot of people, which I was shocked about, especially bringing in Vrabel. Now they're 4-2. If I would have told you that they are the number 1 or number 2 seed right now, I mean, it's incredible. Like the Patriots are good. Buffalo's in the wild card round. The Colts are the number 1 seed. And it's just hilarious how everything is looking this year, because it looks like 2007.
I was going to say it's early 2000s football.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, riding high. Patriots 4-2 coming off the win against the Saints. Their offense is putting up 25 points per game. Their defense is top 10, only surrendering 20 points per game. The Titans are 1-5. They're dead last in total offense. They have only scored 13.8 points per game. We saw Cam Ward struggle in the last loss to the Raiders, but he's been playing good football. It's just not clicking. Their run defense is bad for the Titans, and their offense can't keep up. The Pats win this one on the road. We always say running the ball travels well. And although Ramondre Stevenson and Trayvon Henderson are like 41st and 40th in rushing yards per attempt, I think they're at like 4.1, 4.2. It's something that the Patriots stick with, regardless of the results. The Titans I want to take them. I'm just done. You know what I mean? I'm just tired. I've been taking them every week because I'm like, but like this is an upset spot. I'm just over it. I'm tired of it. If you guys want to win on the 1 week that I don't take you, that would be awesome. Just go ahead and do that to me. But I'm going to go with the Patriots until they prove me wrong.
This is definitely one of those games where I feel like everyone's going to be taking the Patriots and the Titans are going to somehow come out on top. But
there's always that boost when you get an interim coach. The first game is a boost.
It usually just lasts that game 100%. And that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Same. But I'm still going to take the Patriots. They're the better team. They're just the better team overall. But if they lose this one, it's going to be one of those like the Mike McCoy interim head coach for Tennessee did it against former head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel and Drake May, who are this up and coming coach quarterback duo. Right. But I'm still going to stick with the Patriots here, man. They've beaten really good teams. I mean, the Buffalo game last week was a thrilling game, and Drake May played his balls off in that game against a very, very tough Bills team. So I like the Patriots in this one way more than I like the Titans, but that boost for the Titans, I think, is going to put more points on the board for them. I think it does get to that point, or at that point in the game where it's close and you're like, wow, the Titans are actually putting up points and keeping up with the Patriots. And then middle of the third, end of the third type of quarter here is where the Patriots really start to kind of distance themselves and get ahead in the race and in the game. But I think the Titans are going to put up a fight because I do believe in that interim head coach boost for the following week. And I think the Titans are going to put up a game. Cam Ward is going to be playing really well. I just don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with them for 4 quarters. I think eventually, again, middle of the third, closing towards the third of the third quarter is where the Patriots really start to pull away in this game, and the Titans just can't do anything but, try to throw the deep ball, do something. But Cam Ward, I think, is going to look really good, and then Vrabel gets his revenge on his former team, the Titans. But Patriots win in Nashville.
Yeah, and there are some early morning showers in the forecast, and if system slows down, showers could potentially linger into kickoff. But the big thing right now is the wind. There's going to be a lot of wind this week. So this is not going to just be a Titans thing. A lot of other venues are going to see plenty of wind potentially impacting the passing game and the kicking game. So I like a lot of unders this week. Just for this Titans game, it's 15-mile-an-hour wind. And
wow,
like I said, those early morning showers on top of it, things could maybe slow down for the passing game, get some ugly wins this Sunday.
Yeah, Tony Pollard versus Henderson and Stevenson. We'll see who wins that running game.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's done. Let's just be real. Like,
you think so? Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but it's over.
From last year to this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He just fell off. One guy that didn't fall off, DeAndre Swift. Coming up next, the brand new Bears. How does that sound? The brand new Bears.
I love it.
Defeated themselves. You might have thought they beat the Commanders, but they didn't. They looked inside of a mirror. They saw the worst version of themselves, and they got rid of the bad omen by taking the sword and going straight to the juggernaut. And they were able to decapitate the version of themselves that they once despised. They are a brand new team. They have a brand new coach, and their quarterback looks like a brand new man. I'm seeing Caleb Williams make throws that he didn't make last year. I'm seeing him get rid of the ball quick. I'm seeing him take less sacks. I'm seeing DeAndre Swift run the football. I'm seeing Luther Burden come into the game and have 50-plus receiving yards. I'm seeing Roma Dunze look great every week. He's not getting better. He's just great this whole year.
He's a savage.
And I'm seeing DJ Moore just kind of be there this year. I mean, he's there, not really a huge impact like he has been in the past, but it doesn't matter when you win, right?
His body language is better.
Body language is better.
That's what he improved on.
Yeah. And even though I think the Saints are in it for a lot of these games this year, I think I have to go with Chicago on this one. There's a mismatch between their offense and the Saints defense, and it's obvious the Bears have been effective in scoring this season, especially against poor run defenses. That's the category that the Saints rank near the bottom in the league. So while the Saints have shown flashes at times, and they are, I believe, like the Jets, better than their record, Chicago's momentum in the Saints' poor road record, they're 1-8 in their last 9. It's too much for me to ignore. I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Bears to get it done at home.
Yeah, man, you said it. DeAndre Swift played out of his mind last week, and one of the things I credit is the Bears over the last 2 head coaching regimes after the bye have not looked good. And one of the biggest things that we saw last week was the run game improve, and you got to credit Ben Johnson on improving that run game. One of the things that I really, really enjoyed after the fact, which I didn't really understand or really take note of during the game, was against the Raiders. Braxton Jones, our usual left tackle for the last 2 years or so, was replaced in the middle of the game by Theo Benedict, who is undrafted free agent, Canadian guy. We put him in at left tackle, going from right to left in that game. You don't usually see that from the Bears. You do not usually see that in-game upgrade, I guess I'll call it, because that's exactly what it was. It was an upgrade. Generally, they're just going to ride with whoever the starter is. And Ben Johnson is a guy who's like, no, you suck right now. You are clearly making this team bad right now. And I'm taking you out, and we're swapping these tackles in there. And the Bears offensive line got better. Fast forward to Monday Night Football against the Commanders, and the running game was even better than against the Raiders. And the offensive line play was great. You mentioned it. He's Caleb Williams not taking sacks, although he did take 3 against the Commanders. But overall in the season, in the first 5 games, like, it is severely improved. Now he's getting the ball out quicker, which is great. You mentioned all the playmakers we got, and that's great too. I just need the defense to really take that next step, kind of like the offense has. But against the Saints here, at home, I think the Bears, like you said, ride that momentum to 4-2. I'm going to take the Bears to win this one. But like you said, I don't think the Saints are really playing as bad as the record says. Yeah, they're probably, they've scored over 20 points 1 week this year. Everything else, you're looking at 14, 19, 13. It hasn't been great offensively for the Saints, but their defense is actually a little bit better. And I'm going to try to look here at their ranking in terms of points per game. All right, maybe it's not that great. It's 25th, 26.7 points per game. But I think it's still a little bit better than I feel like what most people are seeing the Saints.
Kellen Moore is a damn good coach.
He's a really good coach. He kind of understands what's going on. I think the Saints are in good hands with Kellen Moore. It's just, I don't know. Spencer Rattler's playing a little bit better too, but I just don't know if he is going to be the guy for the future. I think Kellen Moore is going to take his own quarterback this upcoming draft. And then you're going to really start to see the wheel start spinning there for New Orleans. But in this case, for this week, give me the Bears. I hope the Bears can dominate the Saints like they did the Dallas Cowboys. I hope it is a 40-point game for the Bears, but we've seen the Bears play down to their opponents as well. Just like the Commanders, right? Like, yeah, did they have a better rushing game against the number 1 rushing defensive team? They did. They made him look silly. They made DeAndre Swift look like a bell cow running back, honestly, with his 101 yards rushing and his score. I hope the Bears can do that, where they can really take advantage and stomp on a team that is clearly inferior to them on all levels. Maybe not defense. Maybe they're kind of the same there. But I really hope that I really hope the Bears can get to like 30 plus points.
I don't see that happening.
You don't think it'll get to 30?
Absolutely not. This is my favorite underplay this year. Now, they don't call Chicago the Windy City for nothing. And I just got done talking about the wind.
Yeah.
There is no game that's going to affect more than this. There's going to be thunderstorms all night in Chicago. Now, there's 60% chance of precipitation. I hope there's 100% participation, but there is look, it's going to be
must participate.
It's going to be raining around kickoff. It's expected to stop by halftime, but we know the Bears are one of the best first quarter teams. So
points wise,
because they script those opening plays. So we'll see how the weather affects it. But look, 20 to 23 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. The under is a very strong play here. And I just don't see it being like 30 points being scored when it's like thunderstorming in 35 mile an hour wind. Like it's going to be hard to throw the ball. It's going to be hard to catch. There's going to be fumbles, a couple turnovers. I think
slipping and sliding.
Yeah. People are going to be like, how did the Bears? I'm so sick of people not respecting each opponent. Like the Saints, there is no such thing as an NFL team that, how did you lose to? They're all good besides like, I guess the Bengals right now, but even the Bengals almost beat Green Bay last week. It's like each one of these opponents, you have to have a really good game or you're going to get beat. This is not college football.
Yeah.
But 30 points thing's a stretch for me.
Okay. I totally understand that, because not only is the weather going to affect it, but the field on Soldier Field always sucks. So that's why they're moving to Arlington Heights, by the way, Chicago. But give me the Bears to win. If not 30, at least a convincing 24-point win, like where the Bears score 24 and the Saints score like 10, and it is just domination the entire game. I'll take that, but I hope they can score like 30, 31 points.
I feel you.
Mhm.
All right, let's go over to an NFC game. We got the Eagles and the Vikings. Okay. The Eagles, I think this is going to be a really good game. And despite the Eagles coming off an upset loss to the Giants, where their run game only managed 3.7 yards per attempt, I've been saying this all week. Whenever you get an offensive coordinator that doesn't really have that, there's a difference between having the job and like, I'm the guy and I know it. And I will make the calls. And if you don't like them, to hell with you,
Yeah.
like Vic Fangio is going to make his calls. And if you don't like it, you're not playing. And what did we see? We saw the Eagles come out, start the season 4-0. Okay. Then we saw AJ Brown put out a cryptic tweet after the Tampa Bay game because he didn't like how he was being utilized. What have we seen since that storyline? We've seen AJ Brown get a ton of targets. The other thing we've seen is Saquon Barkley go from 22 rushes a game to 6 against the Broncos and 12 last week against the Giants. So we know now that the Eagles can't win football games where they don't run 18 to 22 times. They just don't. Why did they get away from the identity in the first place is beyond me, but I think it has something to do with AJ Brown complaining for targets. Now, I think that shouldn't be the case with a coach. Your players shouldn't be able to get in your head like that. But it's pretty clear that the Eagles lost their identity at the very same time that AJ Brown was upset with the way he was being utilized. I think they need to get back to what they did in the first 4 weeks, and I expect them to after the experiment has gone terribly wrong. The Vikings offense is averaging 24.6 points and 305 yards per game. But the key matchup is going to be the Vikings defense, which ranks 5th in the NFL. We know Brian Flores is a monster when it comes to dialing up blitzes. And they're allowing only 19.4 points per game and only 157 passing yards. That's crazy. That's really low. I'm not confident at all in this game either way. I think it'll come down to a field goal, but I have a hard time seeing the Eagles lose 3 in a row. And because of that, I'm going to take the.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Part of me, God, I see the offense for the Eagles and it's just, it is so lackluster. It is extremely lackluster. And then the Vikings defense, dude, there's just so much going on with these guys. And like, I don't know what Carson Wentz is going to do. And I don't even know what Jalen Hurts is going to do, like on both sides of this game right now. This is such a weird one for me, but give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings at home. 1-point win. This is going to be like a 21-20 game. And it's going to be probably like a 2-minute touchdown for the Vikings and Carson Wentz, or is JJ McCarthy starting? I don't know, but we saw the picture of him earlier this week about him practicing and stretching, and give me the Vikings at home, man. I like both these defenses, but both offenses kind of give me like, I don't know, like worry, I guess. Give me the Vikings, but both of these teams have not looked great and they both have winning records, but give me the Vikings at home.
Love it. All right. Next up, we have a game that is going to feature the Denver Broncos inducting Demaryius Thomas's jersey officially into the Ring of Fame as one of the elite Broncos that will live forever atop the stadium.
The Denver Broncos family lost one of the greatest and most beloved players in franchise history with the passing of former wide receiver Demaryius Thomas on Thursday evening. Thomas was a dominant threat on the field, starring for the Broncos during one of the most successful periods in team history, known as DT. The five-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl 50 champion also won the hearts of fans off the field with his incredible devotion to serving others. Thomas's humility and kindness defined him as an all-time great who will be remembered and missed by all.
You're going to see a tribute right now for the Broncos. Snap clock is at 13. Denver right now on the field with 10 players. And the X position, which was manned so capably by Demaryius Thomas, is empty. And the fans now realize what they're doing. The Lions have agreed to decline this penalty. It's a delay of game penalty. And fans here at Empower Field in Mile High standing, giving the Broncos and Demaryius Thomas, most importantly, a standing ovation. The love for DT being expressed by Broncos faithful nuclear chants of DT.
Woo!
It's going to be an emotional game. It's funny because on all of the different predictions, this hasn't been mentioned by anybody. And
Oh,
if
wow.
you don't think that these things matter, they absolutely do. When you're at home, you're honoring the energy. It becomes a type of magic that you can't put your finger on. It's the same way momentum is real and you don't know how to define it, but you know when you're seeing it happen. And this is going to be a very emotional beatdown, I believe. I think I keep doing that. God. I think Cortland Sutton, I've just had DT on my mind a lot. Like growing up, DT was my favorite player. And he was just like an invincible guy. The way I looked at him, I'll never forget the day he passed. I've never mourned for somebody like I haven't met. And then DT passed and I was just heartbroken. And so was all of Broncos country because he was just so young to go. And Cortland Sutton, he brings donuts every Monday because it was a tradition that Demaryius Thomas did for the Broncos staff. He would bring donuts every Monday. And Cortland Sutton's been doing it, since Demaryius Thomas passed him the torch. And Cortland Sutton's going to break, some of these records pretty soon by Demaryius Thomas. And he's really cemented himself as one of the longest tenured Broncos. And I believe if the Broncos get to a Super Bowl in the next couple of years, that'll cement him as one of the greats as well. And it's really cool to see that kind of the Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre or vice versa go from Demaryius Thomas to Cortland Sutton, who we drafted to replace DT, and it worked out. That said, I think the Broncos win this game. I'm going to go 38-14.
Ooh. The Demaryius Thomas induction into the Ring of Fame, that's going to be a boost. The same thing we talked about with the interim head coach. First game as interim gives you the boost. I think this definitely gives you the boost. The crowd's going to be into it all game.
Oh yeah, longest home. Sorry, I forgot to mention longest home win streak in the NFL. The Broncos are the only team to play more away games and home games that are above 500 at this point. They play, I believe, 7 of their last 9 games at home, where the Broncos haven't lost since week 6 last year, the longest active home win streak in the league. Sorry, just wanted to throw that.
Wow. I remember you talking about that pre-show as well. Yeah, the crowd's going to be into it the whole game. And look, the Giants right now, they are riding a high off of Jackson Dart. But I love what Jonathan Cooper said. Quote, he's a young guy. He's feeling himself a little bit. He's out there running around. He's got the chain on. He's dancing. I feel like everybody needs something, but we've went against quarterbacks who have run around in the pocket and have tried to do stuff with their legs. So it ain't nothing we haven't seen. The Broncos are on pace to break the 84 Bears sack record in a single season. Jonathan Cooper, Benito, these guys are going to get to Jackson Dart. And Jackson Dart's here right now. They're going to bring him down about 4 pegs to about here. Look, the Giants right now, again, like I said, they are feeling themselves with Jackson Dart. Cam Scatabo is running like a wrecking ball through people. He just likes to hit people. That's who he is. He's going to need the Guardian cap soon on his helmet with the way this guy's hitting people. He's probably already got CTE with the way he's played in college. But the way he's doing it in the NFL is crazy. This Broncos defense in terms of the front 7, and then you've still got Surtain and that secondary. Like, I don't know if the Giants get out of this with more than 14 points. I really don't think so. Like, it's got to be one of those games where kind of how we talked about last week, where the Broncos really play down to their opponent. I just don't see that defense kind of playing down to or letting up a lot of points to this offense. It's
only
a rookie
15 points per game so far.
Yeah, and it was 11 against the Jets last week. I can't see them scoring more than 14. What was it?
10 against the Eagles.
10 against the Eagles.
Sorry, 17 to the Eagles.
17. Okay, 17 to the Eagles. Like, this Broncos defense has been just as good, if not slightly better than last year's defense, where it was like, wow, these guys are insane. So
Drake Greenlaw is coming off IR, potentially making his season debut.
I did see that Dre Greenlaw was coming off too. So that's going to be a boost, the Demaryius Thomas thing. And I feel like Bo Nix is going to play a really, really awesome game. Again, this is a guy, Bo Nix, who can take games over if he needs to, when he thinks he needs to. And if he needs to throw the ball at Courtland Sutton 50 yards down the field, he'll do it. If he needs to take it himself, run it for 12 yards for a first down, he'll do that. I'm taking the Broncos to win this. All the hype, everything is telling me to take the Broncos in this game. I'm gonna go 27-13. Broncos win.
I felt like you were gonna go 13 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see. You know, I could see this. Like, a shutout is not off the table. There's just the way they're playing. It's like a rookie
like to see that.
quarterback. He went against the Chargers and had 78 passing yards.
I think that's what you need this Broncos team to do, is to shut them out completely and shut them out with a 24-27 type of score. And that's just going to get it hyped
offensively, because they're a different team at home. I don't know why, but whenever they're at home, Sean tends to be like, yeah, we're going to throw deep at the first play of the game. Like, he just plays it different, you know?
Yeah.
And they haven't been home in almost a month. And now they're coming home after beating the Eagles, an ugly win against the Jets. But it's going to be a very, great atmosphere. I would love to be at this game. I'll be there in spirit. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think their offense is going to look better than they have since they played the Bengals, where, they just demolished them, had 500 yards of offense in that game.
I like it.
All right. The Colts and the Chargers. We're going to stick to the script here with the AFC West. Okay. I don't know what to do with this game. The Chargers are coming off a win. But my heart's telling me to just keep rolling with the Colts, because the Colts have shown that they are one of the most consistent teams in the NFL. They are running the ball better than any team with Jonathan Taylor. Maybe Bijan Robinson is in that conversation, but the way Jonathan Taylor's been playing, you wouldn't think that they have the passing game that they have, and they do. A lot of success that the Colts have had come against opponents with losing records. That's what they're telling you. That's stupid, because they have losing records because they beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's redundant in my opinion. They beat the Broncos because of a penalty, and at that point, the Broncos then didn't have a winning record because they beat them. And it's like, oh, okay. So they, at the time they played them, the 6 out of 7 didn't have a winning record. It's a dumb stat. And I think, what are your eyes telling you? You know what I mean? Like, when you watch the Colts play, why don't you just go with that? And right now, the Colts are just a team that I trust more. The Chargers are at home. It's not worth nothing. I've seen the Chargers at home. Every time Denver plays them, it's 70% Bronco fans. Like, they are not a strong home field advantage by any means. They have to play crowd music on their PA speakers because they don't have actual crowd noise. So I'm going with the Colts in this game. At first glance, it's tough. At second glance, it's easy.
I couldn't agree more. The Colts are the top scoring offense right now. They are the fourth scoring defense right now. And the Chargers are, I feel like, getting in that. I feel like they're charging a bit. Right now in kind of like still early half of or late half of the season, I should say. I really do feel like they're charging a bit. I mean, they won last week, if I'm not mistaken, against
the Dolphins.
The Dolphins. They beat the Dolphins. Yeah, thank you. And even that one wasn't necessarily like one of those wins where you were very, very like excited or happy about. It was a 29-27. We almost lost. Thank God we got in field goal range or whatever the case was. The Chargers are not. They're like from beginning of the season till right now, you kind of lose a little bit of hope, and you really start to think of them as like, even though they're technically leading their division right now, you're like, are they leading their division because they're a good team, or are they leading their division because, it's still kind of early in the season and, Denver is tied with them as well, and Kansas City is starting to be on the up and up. It's like, well, are they a mediocre team that's leading their division right now? Right now, I'm leaning towards that. I don't really like what the Chargers have done. Justin Herbert and the defense haven't looked great. I mean, they lost against Commanders and the Giants, where both of those games you were like 10 points, 18 points. It's a high offense for the Chargers, and yet they only scored less than 20 in both of those. It's a little disappointing. And the Colts, on the other hand, like I mentioned, they are a top defense and offense, scoring wise. I think they're going to take advantage of the Chargers at home. I look, don't get me wrong. I'm taking Harbaugh over Steichen any day, but right now, the way that Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones, and this defense for the Colts are playing, I got to take them over a head coach any day, because the head coach can do a lot, but what do the players do on the field? That's what matters. Give me the Colts to win this one.
Yeah, the Colts hosted Kyle Trask, free agent quarterback, for a visit on Tuesday. So watch out.
Anthony Richardson, see ya.
And also the Broncos on Tuesday hosted Treylon Burks, the former first round wide receiver for Tennessee.
For the Titans, hey.
Yeah.
Like
a lot
it.
of cool stuff going on. All right, next up we got the Packers and the Cardinals. This game is probably not going to be that close. The Packers, I think, are maybe the most balanced team, better rounded team than the Cardinals. I will say the Cardinals looked, Cardinal fans hate when I say this. I don't know that to be a fact, but I can just feel it from the computer. They look better with Jacoby Brissett. They look better.
Wow, really?
They are moving the ball around. They're getting other people involved. And despite their 4-game losing streak, like Arizona's lost their last 4 games by a combined 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
They've consistently put up at least 20 points in all of those games. Their offense has shown an ability to keep games close, especially when they utilize McBride, which is Jacoby Brissett was like, all right, I'm the starter. All right, this is the guy that is going to butter my bread. I'm going to go there the entire game. And then on the other side, Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to play in this game because of his concussion. It was his second concussion this year. It was his third. And I'll say it again. He got concussed 3 or 4 plays before he got concussed. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, his head bounced off. Next thing you know, he's in the game, and then it happened again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he in the game? Then he gets ruled off for a concussion, and I know he had one at that point. So he's going to probably, I would say, don't expect him until November. I don't think he's coming. So they're going to have to utilize some other players in that offense, but I think McBride is going to be a matchup where he could exploit Green Bay's defense enough to keep the final score within a touchdown. but I'm going to just ride with Green Bay to, unfortunately for the Cardinals, lose another game by less than 7.
This is a tough one because I don't really know if the Cardinals necessarily look better with Jacoby Brissett, although they really did have a good game against the Colts last week. I just think that, like you said, like Kyler Murray was not using Trey McBride even after last year's like offensive output by their tight end. And yet Jacoby Brissett's like, oh, I'm a veteran, like a much, I've got way more experience than Kyler Murray in terms of being a veteran in the NFL. Why don't I use my big guy? Right. Like the whole DeMercado thing, Gannon slapping him too. And like all that, the vibes are the vibes are very low in Arizona as well, in Phoenix or wherever it is that they play. I don't know, man. Because the Green Bay Packers too, like they are clearly the better team, and that's like a very clear line, very clearly much better than them. But they got their weird games, the Dallas game, the Browns game. Like, what was that exactly, right? But I can't bet against Green Bay against the Cardinals. Give me the Packers to beat the Cardinals. And I think this is going to be a 27-21 game with like the Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett just being able to put some points on there. But the Packers are going to ultimately win this game. I mean, they handled the Bengals last week pretty handily. There was no problem there. Give me Jordan Love. Give me Mike LaFleur. Give me Josh Jacobs. Give me Golden against the Cardinals, and Jonathan Gannon's seat continues to get hotter, and it's going to be Mike McDaniel, then maybe Gannon afterwards. But yeah, give me the Packers to win this one easy.
All right, next up we got the my look ahead game of the week: the Commanders and the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. This is going to be another good matchup. Dallas struggles primarily on defense right now. They're near the bottom of the league. I said they're so bad that I can't even call them Dallas anymore. They're Alice. They don't deserve the D until they show up. The key matchup here is the Commanders rushing offense with Daniels back, against the Cowboys defense. I'm getting old talking through burps.
Same.
But the Cowboys defense was just gashed for 216 to Rico Dowdle. Was it 216? I think it was. It
was over 200. Yeah, it was bad.
So Dallas has the top ranked total offense. So let's balance this thing back out. The inability to stop opponents from scoring, and the fact that the Cowboys can't establish the run makes them vulnerable. And with all of that said, I'm taking the Cowboys at home. I said last week this was going to be a turning point for the Commanders. There is a fork at the road, and unfortunately, the Cowboys are going to win this game. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is the collision course that is the Cowboys and Eagles Week 10, which might actually mean something.
Oh, I like it. Kyle's calling his shot right now. Yeah, the Commanders losing, against the Bears on Monday Night Football with Jane Daniels fumbling the ball there at the end. Oh, God, as a Commanders fan, you're like, of course, right? Like we get the fail Mary the year before, and then Jaden Daniels fumbles it, on Monday Night Football against the Bears for the Bears to win. And you're looking at this and you're like, how are we going to do against Dallas, right? Like, because like you said, a total offense, Dallas has number one. Not necessarily points scored, but they can put a ton of points on the board. And the Commanders last week, just a few days ago, showed that they're going to be able, their defense, a rush defense, can let up a 100+ yard rusher. If you're letting up to DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams on the Cowboys is looking at that like, I can do that too. So it's going to be a lot of offense by the Cowboys, whether it's on the ground or whether it's in passing with George Pickens and Ferguson there. I think the Cowboys are going to put a lot of yards on this Commanders defense. They're going to tire them out. But then the Cowboys defense is also letting up a ton of points. And I feel like Jaden Daniels is going to want this as like his refresher divisional opponent type of game. Like I just came off that bad loss. I know that I made a mistake fumbling that ball late in the game. I'm going to lock the fuck in and try my best to just get every single down. I'm going to try to get a first down, right? Like that is probably his mindset after seeing that mistake on film against the Bears. I think this is going to be like a fist fight, man. It might even be a shootout. I mean, we're probably talking high 30s game in this one. Just because I feel like both defenses are going to give up a lot to these offenses. So I'm going to take the Cowboys at home because they're going to want to do their best to take that Carolina loss taste out of their mouth, and the Commanders are going to want to do the same. And I think it's just going to be a shootout, but I'm going to take the Cowboys at home. I'm going to go 37-34. Dallas Cowboys win 37-34. Take the over.
The over. Yeah. I can actually see that being a legit score, actually.
Yeah.
This next game I've actually been struggling with a lot. It's Sunday Night Football, and it's the Falcons at 49ers. If this game was in Atlanta, it'd probably be a little easier for me. Now, this is what we're hearing right now. This is the latest and greatest from a couple hours ago. The trend right now, Mac Jones is trending towards starting Sunday 3 hours ago. Per Rappaport, Brock Purdy remains more than limited this week. This will remain a situation to monitor the rest of the week, of course, but as of right now, it's looking like Mac Jones is going to get the start. And we've seen Mac Jones look good. I think he threw for 500 yards against, was it the Seahawks or the Rams? No,
it was the Rams, yeah.
Yeah, and got a win on Thursday night. And the Rams had their chances. There was a fumble by Kyron Williams, I believe, late in that game that really is what the Rams lost by, I would say. So it could be a scenario where the 49ers are 0-2 in their last two games with Mac Jones starting, but they're not. And the Falcons, they're the less injured team. They come into this game with momentum, despite being shut out 30-0 3 weeks ago. People don't forget.
We don't forget.
Yeah, I can't. I will never forget that. And they're good, but inconsistent. And that's my biggest critique on the Falcons. And we'll talk about them in a little bit. But I think with the Falcons, I'm just going to go with the 49ers. I'm going to, you know why? Because I'm torn and I go, okay, well, who wins the coaching battle? I'm going to go with Kyle Shanahan. Who wins the home field event? I'm going to go with the 49ers. Who's got Christian McCaffrey to balance the, on the other side, they have Bijan, and I get that. And they are very banged up. Like the Niners, no Kittle. They lose their linebacker, Fred Warner. Like they lost Hufanga. They lost Greenlaw. Yet these younger guys are stepping up and playing well. And credit Robert Saleh for that. Coaching matters, and I think the 49ers have it. In a game they shouldn't win, they do.
Both of these teams are my teams where I was talking about earlier, where I was like, how do you lose that? And then how do you win that? Like the 49ers, again, are leading their division, and the Falcons just beat the Bills. The Bills are kind of spiraling right now. And like one of those teams where you really are like, how do you lose that game? But the Falcons, credit to them, man. They beat a really, really good Bills team, and Bijan is playing out of his mind. Michael Penix looks really good at quarterback there. And then you look at the 49ers, like you said, Mac Jones and Purdy were both limited this week per the injury report. So who's going to play quarterback? And is Mac Jones going to be, if it's Mac Jones, is he going to look like the Mac Jones from a couple weeks ago where you're just like, man, he's over here putting on the backpack, right? Like that, fucking flexing on people after a hit or after a touchdown. It's just, who's he going to be? Is it going to be, stoic Brock Purdy, or is it going to be swaggy Mac Jones? But at home, like you said, like if it was the Falcons at home, I think I'm taking them. And the 49ers defense is really good. And like you said, credit to Salah for being able to coach through these injuries and coach a winning defense and a winning football team. But the Falcons coming off of that Bills win, they look good. And their offense with Bijan again and Drake London and maybe even Kyle Pitts, like they look like a defense that can score a bunch of points. But like you said, people don't forget 30-0. Give me the 49ers in this one, dude. I like, regardless if Brock Purdy or Mac Jones plays, like you said, give me Christian McCaffrey, although I think Bijan is really good on the other side there, and give me Kyle Shanahan over Morris. Give me the 49ers to win on Sunday Night Football. I think this is going to be a very close game, though. This is going to be a very close game. 27-26, 24-21, 24-23. I think it might be like a 1-point game, but give me the 49ers.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
We got another doubleheader this week, but at least they're spacing the games out so they can be watched.
Thank
the
God.
Buccaneers and the Lions is going to be the first one, and I know a ton of people are going to be eating their popcorn, getting ready for some must-watch television, because that's what this is going to be. Now, Baker Mayfield has been the most gritty, fun player to watch. Baker Mayfield's must-see TV. And then on the other side, anytime Dan Campbell's on primetime, it's must-see TV. Like, this is the most, if you had to make the most fun game possible, this would be it. And here it is on Monday Night Football. I think a lot of people are probably going to pick against the Lions here. Now, I just don't think that is probably going to work out for them. I see the Lions as a team that, yes, did they lose last week? Yeah, I think they beat themselves in a lot of in a lot of ways, and they were on the road. They're coming back home in front of their fans. It's going to be a really great atmosphere. This is going to be very similar to the playoff game from 2 years ago, where the Lions won by 1 possession. If the Lions are favored by 5.5, I would take the Bucs plus 5.5. Because I see this game being more of a 24-27 Lions win. But this is another injury bowl between 2 good teams that would be great if they had their starters on the field. But yeah, I'm excited for this game, and we'll see with some of I'm hearing it's possible Mike Evans is going to return. That is something to keep in mind. Also, Darnell Mooney returning for Atlanta finally.
Okay.
He was at practice Thursday, so that should be a boost that I forgot to mention. But yes, I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions with all of the stuff they're going through. I think they're just gonna have Detroit energy. It's gonna be a great game.
This is a tough one, and I agree. Finally, they're giving us another doubleheader on Monday night that actually you can watch both games, which is something that I'm totally for. I love that because I'm actually one game ends and then the other one begins. Like, why don't we just keep doing that in NFL? That actually makes sense.
Rick, and Emeka Egbuka has not practiced yet this week.
Yeah, so. and there isn't. I think the first injury report that we're going to see from Monday Night Football games is tomorrow, because I just checked right now. No injury report for either of these teams, and that's a big one, dude. Egbuka, and if Mike Evans, you said he might come back, or he's planning on coming back?
Mike Evans is reportedly going to be back at practice on Thursday, leading into week 7. His hamstring injury caused him to miss the last 3 games. Evans practicing is an encouraging sign regarding his impending return. His practice designation will be important clues to how healthy he's feeling. While practicing is a step in the right direction, Evans has not been cleared to play versus the Detroit Lions. Him returning would likely put a damper on Cameron Johnson's usage, but it may affect Tez Johnson instead. We saw Tez Johnson finally get his first touchdown, his first game. That's Bo Nix's brother. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, because he was adopted into the Nix family, right?
Yeah.
So
not like Blindside style though.
No, it was his teammate or something too, wasn't he?
Teammates at Oregon.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, this is 2 really good teams, man, going up against each other. God, and looking at the defenses too, like Detroit's 18th scoring defense, and then Tampa Bay's 24. So this is going to be one of those games. I forget what other game we were talking about. I think it was Commanders Cowboys, where I was like, I feel like this is going to be an offensive game. And I think it's going to be mostly through the air. And I trust the Lions wide receiving core way more than the Bucs right now. Obviously, Ibuka, Evans, and Tez Johnson, and even Godwin, if they're all healthy come game time, I might lean towards the Bucs. But right now, we're doing our predictions right now. Obviously, there's no injury report out yet. Give me the Lions to win on their offense, and I think their defense, while they're bottom half of the league or so in terms of scoring, dude, they're still a really good defense. Like Anzalone, Aiden Hutchinson, I forget the other linebacker's name, but like they are a very good defense. Now they're going to be without Brian Branch because of that punch against the Chiefs. But I don't know if that necessarily is going to be a huge loss for them. God, this is going to be such a good game. This could be like a high 30s game again, like a 38, 37, 34 type of game. And this is going to be one of the I think the better Monday Night Football game than the next one. But give me the Lions at home. I think they're going to want to win after that embarrassing loss to the Chiefs last week on primetime as well. Yeah, give me the Lions at home. But Baker, man, oh God, I love Baker so much. He is up there right now in terms of quarterbacks and MVP favorite from what I've been reading.
Yeah,
he's going to make this a game regardless. This is going to be a game. What's that?
On FanDuel, he has the third best odds.
There you go.
You can still cash that in. Mahomes is number 1. Josh Allen is number 2. And then Baker. I know. How is that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just banking on their future success. But I like Baker and the Bucs, I think, are going to make this a game regardless of where they're at. But I think the Lions ultimately, Jared Goff and their offense, comes over the top and wins this game. This is going to be a high scoring game. I think if you're looking at the over under, I think you should take the over on this. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you should take the over. But give me the Lions.
Whatever it is, take it.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally we got the Texans and the Seahawks. Yep. This is a game between the number 1 defense in points allowed per game, which was the case last year as well. Mm-hmm. This is a constant theme with DeMeco Ryans and his teams. They just don't give up points in a Seahawks offense that leads the NFL in big time throws, getting those 20-yard chunk plays. The questions of JSN being the number 1 with Metcalf being gone are long behind us. We know that it's working out. And to think that this guy came out of college being critiqued with his speed, he ran a 4.6, and they said, is he fast enough to get, be able to get separation? Yeah, it's all he does is get separation. There's nobody around him every time he makes a play. The Seahawks have been quietly good this year, and I think on both sides of the ball, you get a very 50-50 share workload with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. The Texans kind of found a groove before their bye week. I just still don't know if I trust that offense enough. I'm thinking the Seahawks win in a 26-20 type of game.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a defensive game. You mentioned the Texans and their scoring defense and how good they are. That's the only reason the Texans are in any games this year, because their offense is extremely lackluster. I think Sam Darnold, Charbonnet, and JSN are going to struggle against this defense with the Texans. It's really tough to score points on these guys. On top of that, Mike Macdonald, the head coach, has like a losing record at home in Seattle. I don't know how, but he has a losing record at home, but a very good winning record on the road. So you almost wish that this one was played in Houston, because Macdonald might actually have a really, really good shot at winning this one. But both defenses on these teams are very good. It's the offense on the Seahawks side where I'm like, give me the Seahawks to win this game, because they are miles better than CJ Stroud and the offense that they've been putting out there this year. I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this game, and it's going to be a gritty win. I've got a weird score, like 19-12, 19-13, something like that. Seahawks win. It's not necessarily going to be an offensive output like that first Monday Night Football game, Bucks and Lions, but I think the Seahawks are going to be able to get enough points where they can win this comfortably, in a sense, if that makes sense. But yeah, give me the Seahawks to win 19-12. Let's do 19-12. We'll do that.
Okay, 19-12 it is, not 19-13.
Not 19-13. 4 field goals for the Texans.
All right. Well, that was our week 7 predictions, the best in the business. Kyle and Rick giving you the answers to the exam. Hopefully you guys took my picks. We all know that I'm better at this. I'm kidding. But I did have the Patriots over the Bills. I had the Broncos over the Eagles.
I
And
remember that.
and what's the other big one I had? There was 3. There was another that was like, who could have saw that coming?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, come on. You remember. Whatever it was another good
yeah.
one. It was like, oh, wow. How did that happen? I can't remember what it was. It's killing me. Damn it. But yeah, anyway, I was trying to pat myself in the back, and karma just comes to me. Was like,
Correct.
boom. You can't remember. But yeah, that's our week 7 predictions.
All right, Kyle. Well, let's try to do week 7. Going into week 7, we're about a third of the way through the season. Let's do our contenders or pretenders segment.
Yes.
We're gonna go through this one pretty quickly.
So fast. You're not even gonna know we did it.
You're not even gonna know. Okay. All right. For me, let's start with the AFC. Let's start with AFC contenders.
Do you want me to give you a team and you tell me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to give you every team. I'm going to give you the teams that it's a question. Okay.
Mhm.
AFC, let's start with the glaring one, the New England Patriots.
Contender. I think they're a
Super Bowl.
contender. We've
Contender.
talked about the AFC being a little bit weaker. I think the Patriots could find themselves into a wild card. I think the Bills are going to win the division, but I think they can find themselves into a wild card if they can't win the division. All right.
All right.
Next.
You want me to give you another one?
I'll give you another one in the AFC.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens. They only have 1 win, but Lamar's coming back next week. And if they can string a few wins, Kyle, what do you got?
I think it's pretender. Unfortunately, because they had a really good team, and it's very rare to see a team with that type of expectation in the large sample size that we have of them being good fall the way they did. But it's not so much that the Ravens can't win a bunch of games and get back into the playoff picture. It's more that, and we talked, the parity of the NFL has too many teams playing at a high level.
Yep.
It's not what it used to be, where it's like, if you can just get to 9 or 10 wins, you're in. Now you have a situation where you got Patriots and Buffalo, right? You got the Broncos and the Chiefs and maybe the Chargers. So I just don't think, you got the Jags and the Colts. There's a lot of teams that are playing competitive football right now, and the Steelers I don't think are going to stop losing. So my division prediction of the Steelers of winning the North looks like it's pretty damn safe right now, because the AFC North has gone 0-9 in the last 3 weeks, and the Steelers have gone undefeated in the last 3 weeks.
Wow. You said the Browns are going to win, though, the division. That's weird. And the Baltimore Ravens, I think, are like the Bengals of last year. They're going to be week 18 being like, please, we need 7 teams to lose.
Yeah. Actually, if the Broncos tie with the like, all right, stop right there.
Yeah, you guys are done.
Banking on a tie, you're out. Bro.
You're out. Yeah.
All right, let me give you a good one. The Atlanta Falcons.
I think, God, there's too many good teams in the NFC, and I don't think the Falcons are up there yet. I'm going to go pretender on the Falcons, although their offense is producing a ton of points. And I feel like Penix is the guy moving forward. I think they made a great decision. But this year, I think they're pretenders. I think they're going to be one of those like teams you're going to see them in the hunt graphic in like week 15, week 14. But at the end of it, there's just too many good NFC teams. They're not going to be able to make it.
Love it. I do. It's a tough one.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give you one from the NFC. The Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, Carson Wentz right now, JJ McCarthy possibly in the future. We've really seen one good quarter, one good half maybe of JJ McCarthy with Kevin O'Connell, but they have a really good defense, Kyle.
Yeah.
Pretenders.
Pretender.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even close for me. I just don't feel like the Vikings are that great of a team.
Mhm.
Like they have a great defense that's going to keep them in games. But what is that worth? I mean, I think the Bears are better than the Vikings, and I think the Bears are the third best team in that division. But I think 3 playoff teams could come from that division. This was not the year to start. I mean, I said it. They should have kept Sam Darnold. Everyone said, "Oh, that's stupid." But what do you do with JJ McCarthy? Look, when life gives you lemons, you don't go and throw them away. You're like, wow. I mean, imagine if the 49ers were like, Brock Purdy was really good, but we drafted Trey Lance. So
yeah.
we drafted him in the first round. I don't know. Move on. Get over it. You know how many first-round quarterbacks don't work out? But of course, they saw the upside in JJ McCarthy enough to get rid of a sure thing. And now Seattle's benefiting from it. And look at Geno Smith with the Raiders. Things aren't looking so good over there. So I just think the Vikings made a lot of poor decisions, and they put themselves in position to not even make the playoffs this year, let alone compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more each, Kyle. So, and then we'll move on.
All right. I'm going to give you a good one, okay?
All right.
Rick, contender or pretender? The Chargers.
Oh, God. And going to our predictions, I was like, I don't know what the hell the Chargers are doing right now. They're chargering. I'm going to call them a contender because of the more level type of football being played in the AFC right now. I know you got Jacksonville. I know you got the Colts. And I know you got New England and Buffalo. But with Jim Harbaugh going to the playoffs last year with this team, and they've been playing well enough to a 4-2 record. Obviously, the last 3 weeks haven't been pretty at all. I'm still going to call them a contender. They're going to vibe. They're going to play for the division. And if not, I think they can fall into a wild card with their play. So I think the Chargers are a contender, but it is kind of like a very either they win the division or they get the last spot in the wild card. Like I think the Chargers at the end of the year, it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be division win or like last wild card spot that you can possibly get. They're playing well, but they need to play better. All right. Last one, Kyle, NFC, the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
Contender or pretender?
Unfortunately, they're a pretender. And it sucks too, because I believe we watched this movie last year with the Bengals, and I think Dak Prescott is playing at, like, he would be maybe number 1 in MVP votes if their defense just, I don't know, didn't give up 40 a game. Like, it's not that much to ask for. I mean, how many quarterbacks do you get rid of the head coach, get rid of the OC, you lose CeeDee Lamb to injury, you give him Javonte Williams, and and he goes out there and he's like, let me give you the league's best offense. Let me take George Pickens, somebody that people were like, yeah, we'll see. Let me turn him to a top 5 wide receiver in the league. And this is what Dak Prescott does. And he is, for me, like, I'm so on the Dak Prescott train. Like, I've had my years where I'm not. I'm just like done defying what I see every week. Every year Dak Prescott's healthy, they score a bunch of points, and their defense or some other part of the Cowboys will let him down. He's playing at an MVP level. He often does. It's just not enough to overcome the defensive unit that is. They can't stop a nosebleed right now. It is so bad that the Panthers game, I think it showed that the Cowboys, unfortunately, are a pretender. They should have won that game.
Yeah, and we put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks in the NFL, and this just goes to show you that it is not an individual type of sport. You need everybody firing on all cylinders, and unfortunately for the Cowboys, like they've had Dak regular season MVP, it seems like almost every single year, and they just can't do it because of one facet or the other. So, all right, guys, that was our contenders or pretenders. Kyle, let's move into top five.
Top five, no debating. Top five.
Kyle.
Top five.
Let's do it for week 7. Let's get it started. I can't remember who went first last time, but because it's my fault that I don't remember who went first, I'm going to go first now. So for going into week 7, top 5, my number 5 team are the defending Super Bowl champions. I've got the Eagles at number 5. They have taken quite the fall from grace in my standings, at least. They go from number 2 back in week 5 to number 5 going into week 7. And I've got the Eagles. Their struggles offensively have been super apparent. AJ Brown was kind of in his, complaining mode in a sense, I guess you could say. They're getting him the ball more, but Jalen Hurts does not look like a top 5 quarterback right now. And it's showing. Saquon Barkley doesn't look the same. Their defense is giving up a lot of points and giving up wins. And that's why the Eagles are number 5 for me.
All right. At number 5. And I'm going to have the elite. If you're elite on one side of the ball, you're probably in my top 5 because this is just the hardest top 5 we've ever done.
Yeah, this one's difficult.
But I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos right now.
Ooh.
And I'm going to put them into my top 5 because, and what a lot of people don't realize, Denver hasn't actually lost any game until 0-0-0 was on the clock. The Chargers game, there was no time left. They had a healthy Joe Alt. That looked like a legit loss. And then the Colts loss, we feel a lot different about it than we did week 2. Week 2, we were like, you lost to the Colts. The fact that penalty kept Denver from being 5-1 at this point, and then 10 points in the final 4 minutes against the Chargers. You're looking at an undefeated team. You're giving up 15 points per game. You had 30 sacks already. Nick Benito is now the front runner to win Defensive Player of the Year. Surtain is in the back. Like, I get that there's things on offense that you want to get cleaned up. I think they're about to do that. And that is why I think Denver is a team that you can really lean on that defense. Hey, offense, can you score 16 points or more? Yeah. If you do that, we're going to win probably 9 of our last 11. That puts Denver in the top 5 for the long run, in my opinion.
I like it. At number 4 for me, it is going to be the losers of last week's, or actually this past week's Sunday Night Football game. It is going to be the Lions. I still like the Lions. I still like their offense. They haven't really dominated in either side of the ball. Offensively, they're very good. I mean, they scored 50 on the Bears, and really from that week 1 loss to the Packers, we were like, oh no, the Giants are clearly, or the Lions are clearly suffering. No, they just went and continued to show people why they were one of the best teams offensively last year. I think they're still going to be able to do it. It was a tough go against the Chiefs defense, but I think they're still good enough to be in this top 5 so far. They've taken a fall here from my standings again, but I still like them enough in the NFC to put them at number 4.
All right. At number 4, I am going to have to put the Rams here.
I was like, the Broncos again?
Their Jared Verse is an absolute menace. You saw the Rams in their last game that they played. They had the ball on the 1-yard line, who the Rams were playing. I'm blanking on it, but they ran it 4 times in a row, and Jared Verse They ended that drive on the 3-yard line turnover on downs. Like when
Mhm.
you have a defensive line that can do that, and then you have an offense that's 5th in the NFL in yards per game, only 1 yard behind Indianapolis, who we continue to rave about, and they're doing it without Puka Nacua last week. They're doing it with no Blake Corum, who's finally coming back into this offense. Tyler Higbee's turning into, somebody they can rely on. But I think the Rams, they were my Super Bowl pick, and they're looking like a team that if they heat up and are healthy in the playoffs, they could win it all.
All right. For number 3, a team that has looked honestly really bad for a couple weeks now. I still believe in them, and this is probably why, I still have them in my top 5, but the Bills, I'm going with the Bills at number 3. Something is going on with Josh Allen and that offense. I'm keeping them here because I still think they're a threat week to week, regardless of the opponent they're going against and regardless of what's been going on. But again, they're taking a fall too because I think they were number 1 on my last top 5. I've got the Bills at number 3. Like you said, this was a tough top 5 to do, and the Bills at 3, that's a rough one for them.
Yeah, at number 3, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I'm seeing everybody's putting them at number 1, and I'm like, okay, I get it. So our power rankings is just whoever has the best record, which is dumb because, like I said, if that penalty happens, I know we wouldn't be at number 1 despite being 5-1. So, but for some reason, because of the way Baker's playing and how captivating he is, we're putting Tampa Bay at number 1, and I just think it's premature. I think they're a really good team, but it's like they haven't really beat anybody with a statement win. They beat the Jets by 2, which we got in trouble for that. They should get in trouble for that. They're very injured. Now, if they get their guys back, they could legitimately be considered top, 1 or 2. But for right now, with all the injuries, they're heavily relying on Baker Mayfield to just put the team on his back. And any team that has to do that cannot be at number 1. It cannot be on one guy. And right now in Tampa, I believe it is. But Baker's playing at an MVP level. And because of that, Tampa's still going to be at number 3, being almost top 5 with 27.5 points per game.
Yeah, they're scoring a lot. And I've actually got them at number 2. I've got them at number 2. Just because of the injuries, they lost to the Eagles early on. That was week 4, I should say, not necessarily early on. But they've lost the Eagles, but every other game they've won. I mean, it's a 3-point win against the Falcons. It's a 1-point win against the Texans. But then you see what they've done over the last 2 weeks against NFC West teams. The Seahawks and the Niners, both that have really good defenses. They've scored at least 30 points on both of those teams. So that's why they have actually finally gotten into my top 5 because of Baker Mayfield, how well he's playing, Ibuka, how well he's playing, and their wins, who they're beating, I should say. Last couple weeks, it's been the Niners and the Seahawks, and they've done it impressively by scoring at least 30 points on both of those defenses. And that's why I've got the Bucks at number 2.
All right. At number 2, I have the Colts. The Colts are number 1 in the league with 32.3 points per game. 32 points per game. It's incredible.
Yep.
Daniel Jones should be considered an MVP candidate. On the defensive side of the ball, they're not dead last like the Colts. So there you go. I mean, this is what the Cowboys could be if their defense was ranked 19th like the Colts and only gave up 329 yards per game, but instead, they give up 411 and they're 32nd. So this is what Dallas could be. The Colts are showing the model of what balance really looks like when it comes to rushing the football. They have the best running back in the league, it seems like this year. They're 6th, 131 rushing yards per game. That is absolutely incredible when you're able to run the ball, control time of possession, and then passing the football. They're also ranked in the top 10, or actually their pass attempts per game. They're and I only bring this up to show balance. They're 20th only throwing the ball 30 times a game. Look, if your game plan has you throwing 41 or 40 times a game, that means that something went terribly wrong. And you look at the teams that are throwing 40 times a game, Dallas, Cleveland, the 49ers, and these are teams that are trying to play from behind or they can't run the football, but not the Indianapolis Colts. They're able to be exactly 50% passes, 50% rushing on the whole season. They are the example of what balance looks like, and that's why they're 5th in passing yards per game and top 5 in rushing yards per game. Very hard to do that. I'm going to give the Colts the nod here until they prove that, they're not going to be able to do this all year, or they're going to climb to number 1.
Yeah, and for me, I've got the Colts at number 1. Jinja, I hope you're listening. I hope you rewatch this because the Colts are number 1 in my top 5 for the first time since we've done this show. Total scoring defense, scoring offense, number 1 top. I think they're 4 in defense, number 1 in offense. They have been dominating. They have put a ton of points on the board. They have been winning games. Like you said, Daniel Jones is a legitimate MVP candidate. I think maybe not necessarily above Baker or above maybe a couple other quarterbacks, but man, he is doing wonderful in Indianapolis, and I'm sure Colts fans love it. He's running the ball for scores. He's passing the ball for scores. You got Jonathan Taylor. You got Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, making all these guys into stars this year on the Colts, and their defense has just been really, really good. And that's why the Colts, for me, are my number 1 team. Keep it going, Colts. Jinja, I'm sure you're loving this too.
At number 2, I'm sorry. At number 1, let's make that clear. At number 1, I got the Detroit Lions. It's a week-to-week league. Like I said, they beat themselves. A lot of times, it's like Lions lose. Okay, we have to knock them down. Well, we don't have to. I mean, are the Lions not the best team in the NFL? Let me just ask you, if the Detroit Lions and Colts played this week, who would you go with? I think a lot of you would go with Detroit. Now,
maybe.
Not to say the Colts, there would be a lot of people on the Colts. There would. And that's why the Colts are my number 2 team. But the Detroit Lions have only lost 2 games. The first one, we just kind of threw it away because we saw that was more fluky than anything. And then their second loss just happened. They were the number 1 team in everyone's power ranking. Now they lose in a game where they had a bad penalty. They just weren't themselves. I don't expect this team to not be themselves anymore. I know what their identity is. Aiden Hutchinson has returned to elite form. Hutchinson is absolutely a menace. He's actually another franchise mark, 4 straight games with a forced fumble. Think about that. He's taking the ball away from his opponents 4 games in a row. Just him. I mean, this offense is one of the most fluid offenses in the NFL. The 2 running backs they have, I think Jared Goff might be the most underrated quarterback in the last 10 years. He just makes these throws with anticipation and precision, and it's amazing to watch. I'm just not going to read too much into it. The Lions are the best team in the NFL still.
I don't know if I necessarily agree. Obviously, we don't, because you got them number 1. I got them 4.
Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday night. They're going to play the Bucks, and everybody has the Bucks at 1. So, Detroit, they win that game, and then they're back. Okay, we'll put the Lions back at 1.
And if they do it pretty convincingly, I think they will. So that was our week 7 top 5. Let's play it one more time, baby.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here while Kyle does his motherfucking.
Welcome to the Chives with Kyle. All right, so I'm going to give you, this is going to be really quick. I'm just going to give you the injury report. This was updated less than 1 minute ago. Deebo Samuel officially doesn't practice on Thursday. This is a hit to the Commanders, who have a big game coming up against the Cowboys. Cario Santos, not seen practicing Thursday as well at Chicago's practice, and that's not the worst news for Chicago. DJ Moore was seen back at practice on Thursday. Okay, so that's good news because he was estimated to be a non-participant on their estimated injury report on Wednesday, but he was seen at the team's practice facility just 5 minutes ago. It remains to be seen in what capacity he was able to practice, but this is a good sign for his Week 7 start. And we know he went to the hospital following the Commanders game with a hip groin injury. Alec Pierce, a full participant again on Thursday. Good news there for the Colts. We got Kenny Moore, limited Thursday with an Achilles injury. Kenny Moore has now logged 2 straight limited practice sessions to start the week, which is a good indicator that he'll be back in the lineup against the Chargers. Indianapolis's defense has already looked good this year and will look even better when he's ready to return to the lineup. Tyler Godson, a groin injury, was sidelined at Colts practice on Thursday. Jalen Hyatt, listed as limited Thursday with an ankle injury. An ankle injury left him sidelined for a second straight practice on Thursday. It seems like he's likely trending towards playing through at Week 7. However, how he's going to be used, I mean, they want to increase his reps if Darius Slayton is ruled out for the game, but they have to monitor that injury as well. And Darius Slayton, who we just talked about, he was working out to the side on practice Thursday. I keep saying Thursday, today, just in case people watch this later. Working off to the side, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to play Week 7, which would lead to more work for Wan'Dale Robinson and Lil Jordan Humphrey. Sean Payton's guy, everywhere he goes, and now coming to Denver to play us. Watch out for that. That's a weird matchup. Lil Jordan Humphrey returning to Denver and them counting on him. Jacoby Myers expected to practice today. That's good news. He was not able to practice on Wednesday because of a pair of injuries he was dealing with. Jatavion Sanders for the Panthers is upgraded to a full participant. That's great. Chuba Hubbard officially limited today. Jalen Coker practices in full capacity. Great news. Somebody that is probably available on your waiver wire. Get him. Run. Right now. Hurry up. You're going to want him. He won't be available after this week. Blake Cashman. Wow, we got a lot of updates with Blake Cashman, but what's important to know, in Blake Cashman, he is like the green dot linebacker for the Vikings. Very important. He is participating in Minnesota's practice, dealing with a hamstring injury. He's been on injured reserve for a while due to that injury, but it seems like he's recovering from it well and is participating in the team's practice on Thursday. Next up, we got Andrew Van Ginkel, who was spotted at practice on Thursday. He was spotted at Minnesota's practice today. The linebacker has been seen practicing, and he was able to log a limited practice session on Wednesday. So him stringing together multiple days is a good sign that he'll be available to play Week 7, which would be great news for Minnesota's defense as a whole. And right there, you got Blake Cashman and Andrew Van Ginkel looking to come back to this defense. That's big. L'Jarius Sneed was seen back at practice for the Titans on Thursday. The veteran cornerback was spotted after missing Wednesday's practice due to a quad injury. That bodes well for his Week 7 availability, which will be important for the Titans in a matchup against a Patriots offense that is rolling. Calvin Ridley was not seen practicing Thursday. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. He was absent from practice yesterday due to the hamstring, and it looks like he's not taking any part in today's practice as well. He was not seen at the portion of practice that was open to the media. Elik Emmanuor, I can never say his name, will see more work if the veteran is sidelined. Trey Hendrickson is not expected to play tonight against the Steelers. He's got a hip injury, and the team is expecting him to be sidelined for tonight's game against the Steelers. Cincinnati's defense is usually already one of the weakest units in the league, but they're going to be even more shorthanded without their best player, no doubt. Landon Dickerson, ankle injury, practiced Thursday. That's great news. Dickerson was present in the stretch line to start practice. He was working his way back from an ankle injury. That's great news for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quinion Mitchell was present at practice Thursday. The status was uncertain for this week. The status will need to be monitored when the injury report is released. He's dealing with a hamstring. CeeDee Lamb is at practice. He logged another practice Thursday. He was limited at practice to open the week on Wednesday, and he appears to have a real chance at returning this Sunday. Big news for the Colts, and we'll see how that affects George Pickens fantasy-wise. That rapport is so great with Dak Prescott, I would expect it to. Obviously, he's going to lose some targets, but I still think he's starting every single week until proven otherwise. Marvin Harrison was wearing a yellow no-contact jersey. Of course, he's in concussion protocol. I don't expect him to play for a couple weeks, personally. Zay Jones, not seen at practice on Thursday. It's his second straight absence to open the week. He'll likely have to practice in some capacity Friday to have a chance to play Sunday. Kyler Murray working with the practice squad pass catchers Thursday. Jacoby Brissett worked with the regular pass catchers at practice, and it appears Kyler Murray is trending towards not playing. It's going to be Jacoby Brissett again. Most likely. Nothing set in stone yet. For the Browns, David Njoku remained sidelined from practice on Thursday, his second straight absence from practice. If he's sidelined this week, Harold Fannin Jr. would be on track to take on a larger role. Derek Stingley Jr. for the Houston Texans was at practice Thursday. He's been battling an oblique injury. He should be on track to being good to go for Monday night's game against the Seahawks. And that is, Puka Nacua, not practicing today. He was not seen practicing during the portion that was open to media. Nacua remains unlikely to play Sunday against the Jaguars, but he has yet to be officially ruled out. And then Darnell Mooney was at practice today, estimated as a limited participant. His status will need to be monitored when the injury report is released later today. And finally, Deebo Samuel, I mentioned that one already. Terry McLaurin, that's the one I meant to do, was not seen in the open portion of practice 2 hours ago. It's not ideal after McLaurin returned to a limited practice on Wednesday. We thought he was trending towards playing, but now he's not seen at practice, so trending in the wrong direction. His status will be monitored. Tomorrow is pretty much going to tell us what we need to know, whether he practices or if he doesn't again, he's not playing. And for the Packers, Lucas Van Ness does not practice today. Second straight day he won't practice. He'll have a chance to practice in some fashion on Friday to have a chance at playing. He's got a foot injury, and I believe that is all the big ones. I mentioned Travarius Ward, concussion protocol. He did not practice today. Ward suffered the injury pregame last Sunday. He will remain sidelined most likely this week. And Brashard Smith, the 7th round running back that is kind of been ramped up in this Chiefs offense. He was back at practice today. He was sidelined to open up the week on Wednesday with an illness. He should be good to go with his usual, usage on Sunday against the Raiders. And see, Michael Carter returned to practice Thursday. That's good news. And see, Josh Downs not at practice for the Colts with a concussion. Christian Watson for the Packers. He has a chance to make his season debut Sunday. Watson was unable to log a practice Wednesday. LaFleur said he looks great in 11-on-11 stuff. He's likely going to be eased back when he does return from the knee injury, and that could help the Packers out offensively after losing. I always blank. Jayden Reed. Darren Waller, hip injury. He was at practice on Thursday, so good news for the Miami Dolphins, who have really that's been the go-to guy since he started, 3 weeks ago on Monday night? And then Brandon McManus. Matt LaFleur worried about a quad injury. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur said he's concerned about the quad injury that Brandon McManus is dealing with. That is an exact quote. Just like I said last week, I am concerned about it. McManus did not participate in Wednesday's practice. He will attempt to kick tomorrow. That could be a huge thing to monitor. And then Josh Reynolds, dealing with a hip injury. Reynolds opened up the week missing practice on Wednesday. His return today gives him a chance to play against the Panthers on Sunday. Finally, Garrett Wilson was not seen at practice today. It remains expected that Wilson will be sidelined this week. He suffered a knee injury against the Broncos last week. And Brandon Ayuk was working out at the 49ers practice field 3 hours ago. It's the second straight week Ayuk worked out at the practice field. He's continued to target a return near week 10. And Emeka Egbuka remains sidelined 4 hours ago. Expected to be sidelined for the game against the Lions. Mike Evans returned to practice and has a chance to return from his hamstring injury. And those are the big injuries around the league. And I guess the good news is DJ Moore, who was trending in the direction of not playing. Great news just 10 minutes ago that DJ Moore is in fact at practice 18 minutes ago. So, I mean, we're giving you the best updates in the world. So hopefully that information is useful for you guys. But thank you for watching the Only Football Podcast. I enjoy every single one of these. I can't wait to see you guys on the next stream. I'll see you in a little bit because I'll be going live again just in probably a couple hours. Got to get some notes together. But I hope you enjoyed our Week 7 predictions. Long live Bill. See you guys soon. See you.